Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm audible to you? Yes, I'm audible to you. Okay, we'll start the session. My screen is visible to you. Can you able to see the screen? Okay, we'll start the session. Before that, let me just revise what we have discussed yesterday. So yesterday we have completed about the virtualization, in which we have discussed about the Hyper-V, and then we started the uh, RAS, that is remote access service, which can be used to configure the VPN server. So we discussed yesterday, VPN server is a service, or it is a server through which we can access the private network using the public network from anywhere. So to do that practical, so yesterday we have done the theory part. Now today we'll do the practical. For that we require 3 machines. So now today we need to use 3 machines. So the setup will be like this. So to do the today's practical, we need 3 machines. So first of all, as usual, we required our system one, that is our my DC. Then we need system two, which is member server, which we need to make today as a VPN server with router. So the most important today will be our member server. And for the verification purpose, what you have configured it working or not, you need to use the third machine. So I don't have much RAM left. So what I will do, if you have 12 GB RAM, you can create one new virtual machine. If you have 8 GB RAM, you can use your system 3 as your physical machine. Our Windows 10 or 11, whatever is there, no, our physical machine, we can use as our system 3, our physical machine. So which we will be using today as a VPN client. So altogether, how many machines we require today? 3 machines. One our DC, system 1 will be our DC, system 2 is we need to make today VPN server with router, and system 3 we have to use like a VPN client. Now in today's practical, everything is based on the IP addressing. So I'll suggest you have to be attentive and use the same network IPs. The setup which I am giving you, you can also do the practical with the same way. So here, this is our, in my case, VMnet 1. So this LAN card also should be connected to same number, VMnet. So now it is private to private communication, private to private, VMnet 1. So here I'll be giving the IP address 10.1 IP address, and preferred DNS is 10.1. But today we need one extra IP, that is default gateway. So we need default gateway IP. Default gateway IP is nothing but router IP address. So we are making second machine as a VPN server with router. So this machine, DC is in which network? So this machine also should be in same network. So I'm using, this is 10.1, this should be 10.2. So this IP will become the default gateway IP. So this IP will become a default gateway IP. And here the preferred DNS should be this machine IP. So this is the setup you have to do. So today the machine which you are going to make as a VPN server that machine should have two LAN cards. That machine should have two LAN cards. So here, the LAN card should have two, sorry, this VPN server should have two LAN cards. So if you are practicing this in on your physical machine, you can purchase one LAN card and connect it. The slot will be there on the motherboard. But if you are doing through the VMware, can we have two LAN cards? Yes. How to create? I'll show you. So one LAN card will be connected to the private network. So VPN is the interface between the private network and public network. So one interface will be connected to private network. The other interface will be connected to the public network. Like we have seen yesterday the diagram. So this will be now public to public, public to public. So here in real time we will be using here internet. Here in the lab, for our practical purpose, this number and this number should be same. Then only they'll communicate. So now here this IP will be other than 10 dot. So I'm using this as a internet means other than the 10 dot. So this is a private IP, this is a public IP 11.1. No preferred DNS, no default gateway. And this machine, our VPN client IP will be also public IP. But here preferred DNS should be the DC machine IP. So this is the IP setup you have to do. So here we will be using three machines today. So in the DC machine, we have to mention or give the name of the users who should access the. Here we have to give the name of the users who should access the private network using VPN. So here we need to mention who should be allowed or who should access private server. So here we need to mention the who should access the private or private servers, private server with VPN. And here we need to make this as a VPN server with router. So today here we need to install the RAS with the routing. Then you need to configure it, RAS with routing, then configure it after installing. So install the RAS with router, then configure it. How to configure? I'll show you. So this will become, after configuration, it will become VPN server with router. How to do that? Practically we'll see. Now this is a VPN client. So in the VPN client, we need to create a VPN connection. We need to create VPN connection. So using this VPN connection, the client will connect to first to this interface, public to public. Then, then it will search, it will check with this DC whether this should be user should be allowed. So once it is found that this user is this user should be allowed, then this VPN server by itself or to the DHCP server will assign one private IP and it will get connected to our DC. So this is our setup and this is the way you have to do the practical. So three machines we have to use.
हाँ अंकल ग्लास हो गई थी तो मंगा लो
Okay, now shall I start the practical? Understood this concept? Exactly same way we'll do it. Yes, shall we start? Okay, fine. So we'll do one by one all the three machines. So let me start now. So first we'll start the DC. So this is our DC machine. Let us start. And also the member server. So we'll do the practical one by one. First we'll do the things as per the DC machine. Then after that we'll go to the member server. Then finally to the VPN client. So all the steps are given here. So what is the today's practical? RAS, or you can say VPN. So to configure that, IPs are important. So first you go to the system one, IP is 10.1, disconnected to VMnet 1 LAN card. Preferred DNS is also same, default gateway 10.2. Then open the ADUC console, right click on the administrator, property, select dial-in type, allow access. So to which user you want to allow to access the private server using VPN, you have to select this. First machine work is completed. Okay, so let me show you. So you don't have to do much work today in DC machine. Okay, so this is our DC machine. Now first thing what I need to do it, IP address. So here, right click on network, IP properties, LAN card, right click properties, IP version 4, IP address and preferred unit should be same, but default gateway also we have to give. So that should be 10.2 as per the setup I have given you. Okay, so this is the thing you have to do, default gateway. Okay. So now you see here. Now open the server manager console. So which user you want to allow? Go to the tools, go to the active users and computer. Now which user you want to allow? Select that user, like administrator should be allowed. Select the administrator, right click, properties, dial in tab. Now first option, network access permission. Allow access. Apply. Okay. Now if you want to allow U1 also, one more time I'll show you. Same. Select the user, right click properties, go to the dial in tab, then use the option first, allow the access. Apply. Okay. So now here, who can access the private server using the public network through the VPN? As per this, administrator and U1. So like this, how many users are allowed? You should do to that many, allow access. Okay. Now, so now we have given the users, administrator and U1, the access to access the private server using public network to the VPN. Now our DC machine work is completed. Now go to the member server. Now everything has to be done in the member server. Now the second machine. So in second machine, we should have two LAN cards. So by default, it will have one LAN card. How to create one more LAN card? I'll show you. So now the first LAN card given private IP 10.2, preferred DNS 10.2, default gateway not required. The second LAN card should be given public IP and should be connected to VMnet 2. Okay, this is the way you have to do it. After that, now uh, in the second machine, system to member server, open the server manager console, click on add roles and features, click on next 3 times, check the box remote access to install it. Click on add features, next 3 times, then check the routing box also, next install. After installing the RAS, you have to configure it. Now here, select the how to configure it now after installing the RAS with routing. Right click on the system to click on configure and enable routing. Third option, VPN and router specified. Select the public network because we'll be accessing through the public network. Select that and give some private IP of 10 dot. So once it is connected, VPN server will assign the IP to the VPN client from this range. Okay, so this is about your second machine work. So most important is second machine for today's practical. Okay, now how many LAN card it required? Second machine required. Okay, so now we'll go to the second machine now. Now first thing what you have to do, you should have two LAN cards. So by default, how many LAN cards we will have? One LAN card. How to check it? Go to the PC network, right click properties, change adapter setting. So how many LAN cards you see here? Only one. But we need how many LAN cards? Two LAN cards. Compulsory. So how we'll create it? See here. So now how to create a second LAN card? You see here. Go to your OS member server. Go to your member server. Right click on the member server OS. Then go to the settings. Now here, how to create the second LAN card? See here. So go to the second machine, select the machine, right click settings, then you'll get to this. Like I'll show you one more time. I went to the second machine member server, right click on that, go to the settings. Now this window will come. Select the network adapter. So we need to create one more LAN card. So select the network adapter, click on add. What you want to add? Network adapter. Finish. Now this LAN card is also connected to what? NAT. Second LAN card. First LAN card we have connected from NAT to custom. Now second LAN card also connected to NAT. We need to connect it to the custom. Okay. Now see, you'll get the two LAN cards. Already one was there, now one more. So here you see. So one LAN card is connected to VMnet 1. So this should be connected according to my setup VMnet 2. Okay. Now we are having two LAN cards. So now what we can do, according to the setup, IP should be given. Okay. So now two LAN cards are there. Assign the IP. First LAN card. Right click. Properties. So this is your private IP. Now here, this is our which machine? First, second machine, first LAN card. Right click properties, IP version 4, properties. Here use the following IP. So earlier we took the IP from the DSCP server. Now server should have static IP. So I'm giving this machine as a 10.2. So IP address is 10.2, preferred DNS is 10.1. Okay, so this is your first LAN card. Now connect to give the IP address to the second LAN card. Right click, properties, IP version 4, properties. Use the following IP. Okay. Now here, this IP according to our setup should be 11.1. Tab. No preferred DNS, no default gateway. Now preferred DNS IP. So here 11.1 and preferred DNS should be 10.1 DCIP. So this is the setup you have to do. Now will it able to communicate with the DC? It can't. So compulsory we need to configure. Compulsory we have to configure what? 1 minute. So now both are in the same network. Now we need to ping to the from the VPN client. VPN client is our DC machine. VPN client is our physical machine. This is your physical machine. So from here you have to access. So now as a user, I can able to communicate to the DC now. You can't. Okay. Now here we need to configure from here. Second machine it is communicating, but you are the client. You should access from your machine from your home. Now in that case, what you have to do in the member server. Now I'm in member server. Go to the command prompt. Now ping to the DC. It is communicating, but from our member server, but not from the VPN client. Why we are using the VPN? To access our private server from home. So now this setup is completed. So IPs are given in first and second machine. In first machine, we have mentioned the users who should access the server. Now in the second machine, this machine we have to make as a VPN server. So to make this machine as a VPN server, what I need to do it? Open the in second machine, open the server manager console. Open the server manager console. Now here, RAS is not installed. So click on add roles and features, then click on it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now check remote access service. Can you see here remote access? Check the box. Yes. Next. 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 Now check the routing also. So it has become routing with RAS, that is VPN server with routing. Install. So it will take some time. Now it is got installed. So installing the RAS will doesn't work unless until we configure it. So how to configure it? So go to the tools. Now you will find here remote access and routing. Can you see here? Remote routing and remote access. Don't use this remote access management. Routing and remote access. Open that. Now you can expand your system name. Nothing is there. So select it. Right click first option. Configure and enable the remote. Enable the routing and remote access. Next. Select here third option. VPN and NAT. Next. Select the public IP through which we will get connected. Next. Now we have to give some range. New on public IP we have to give. So once it get connected, the VPN server will assign one private IP to the VPN client so that the VPN client can able to access the private server as if he's inside the office. added. Yes, next. Routing, next finish. Okay, okay. Now here you can see right click all task restart. After configuration like WDS restart. Okay. Now our second machine is also done. Second machine is configured VPN server. Now we have to use the third machine. We have to use the third machine, VPN client. But it should be connected to. So our third machine should be, suppose, a virtual machine. Like I have two machines here. So if I have one more machine, I can directly go and give the IP. But since we are using the third machine as a VPN client as a physical machine, so what we need to do, we need to create from the DC machine one LAN card for the physical machine so that there will be link between the virtual machine and physical machine. Okay. So now what we have to do to have a link, because my third machine I'm using as a physical machine as a VPN client. So I need to create from the DC machine one virtual LAN card for the physical machine so that the link is established between the, it will not communicate, just a link will be established between the virtual machine and physical machine. If your third machine is also virtual machine, no need to create a LAN card from the DC machine. Since our third machine, that is our physical machine we are using as a client, so we need to create from the DC machine one LAN card, one LAN card for the physical machine from the DC machine, because this LAN card name should be connected to what? VMnet. So from DC machine, we need to create for the physical machine this LAN card, because the third machine we are using like a, and we want to communicate with this. So we need to create what? One LAN card. if your third machine is suppose also virtual machine, then we don't have to create the land card. Okay. So now I'll show you how to create a land card from the DC machine for the physical machine. So go to the first machine. Then here you can create the LAN card for the physical machine. So how to create it? So here in the notes also have written. So in the VPN machine, we are using like a physical machine. So create one virtual LAN card for the physical machine from the DC machine. How to create? I'll show you. So this number should be VMnet 2, because my second LAN card is also showing these two numbers should be same. So my second LAN card is connected to where? Second LAN card is connected to where? VMnet 2. So this also should be connected to the VMnet 2. Compulsory. Okay. Now what IP you have to give on that? 11.2. After that, you ping it. It will not ping. Then what you have to do? You have to create in the now it will not communicate. So what you have to do? You have to create a VPN connection in physical machine, VPN client. So how to create a VPN connection? Right click on network icon, property, set up a new connection, connect to workplace, use my internet. I will set the internet connection later. Then IP address of the RAS. Then VPN connection is created. Click and create. Uh, Connect. Now we have to connect. Now it will ask the username and password. So who can access? In our case, administrator and U1. Out of these two, because in DC machine we have given the names. Then now it will communicate. So this is your practical. Now I'm going to the DC machine, creating the LAN card. So for that, go to edit in DC machine, virtual network editor. Then here, change setting. Yes. Now it will be appearing behind this. So minimize this. So now here it will show you. So add. So it should be connected to VMnet 2. So one virtual LAN card will be created. Add VMnet 2. After that, okay. So it will assign which IP? 192. We need to change it to the 11 dot. Now let me show you this virtual LAN card is created or not. See here, network adapter, change out. So can you see here, LAN card for the physical machine is created. Now check the IP. Check the IP. So it will be having 192 IP. So just change it. Obtain the IP address, use the IP. Now this should be according to our setup 11.2. Now this should be 10.1. This we are doing in physical machine, which we are using now as a VPN client. So any VPN connection is created? No. Now you try to ping it from the physical machine to the DC machine. It will not communicate still because we need to create the VPN connection. Yeah. So now what we have to do, we need to create a VPN connection. So how do you create a VPN connection? You see here. First you go to the network icon, right click properties. Now here you have to do. Here you have to do. Set up a new connection. Then connect to workplace. All the steps I have written. Next, use my internet IP. Now here internet address means our VPN server private public IP. Public IP is 11.1. This diagram you see here. So this is your public IP. Okay, create. So VPN connection will be created. Now you can go to the changes after setting. You can see the VPN connection. Now connect it. Right click connect. Now click on right click connect. Now VPN connection. Click on VPN connection. Connect. Now it will ask the username and password. So two persons can access in our case. So I'm accessing with because in DC we have given 2% name. So administrator at the rate our domain name, full name. U1 also you should write U1 at the rate zoom.com and the password. Now when my this get connected, now still you see here, still it's not got connected. So it will not ping. Still it is not pinging with the DC. So from the VPN client, we should ping to the DC machine. That is the output. So what is the result output? So this is the result. Output result should be. Now you should able to ping from the VPN client. You should ping to the DC machine. That should be the output. So now what happens? Now VPN connection is not. It's not communicating. So we need to click on connect. So once it get connected, what happens? My Wi-Fi will get disconnected. So you are able to see my screen with my Wi-Fi. Can you see here? My Wi-Fi is also there. So see, this is my, I got connected with you with Wi-Fi. So now this will get disconnected. So you may not able to see my screen, but the session is getting recorded. So you can see in the recording session, okay, how it is pinging. So now it's get connected. Once it get connected, I'll put, since the session is getting recorded, I will ping to the DC machine. So once my screen get disconnected, you're not able to hear my voice, don't go away. I'll just again disconnect the VPN. I'll log in. Now see, it's get. So I think now you are able to hear me. See, it is once it got connected, it was communicating. So the session got recorded now. So you can see them. Again, I'll do one more time. So again, I'll connect so that you can see in the recording session. Okay. So can you able to hear me now? Can you able to see the screen? Yes, understood the VPN practical? Yes, tell me, anyone. Is it clear to everyone, the VPN? Okay, fine. So now if you don't need these means, you should know also how to delete it. So just you can select and delete. You can delete like this. And if you want to remove this LAN card, which you have created from the DC machine, you can delete this also. So how you have created, same way. Go to this, uh, edit, virtual network editor, change setting. Yes. Now you minimize this, it will be behind this. So just whatever name is there, you remove it. Over. This machine, this LAN card is gone. So it came back to the original. Okay. So with this, we have completed the VPN. So shall we have a break now? Shall we have a break? Okay, we'll have a break now. So I'm just putting my mic in mute position. We'll have a break now. Yes, shall we continue? Next topic? Yes. Shall we continue with the next topic? Okay, so now we'll move to the next topic. So we have completed the VPN. Now, next topic is storage management is a big concept, so we need to take it full day. So tomorrow we'll do that. So today we'll take backup and recovery and the remote desktop. So these topics we will complete today. So just a minute, my battery got low. So now we'll do the next concept, backup and recovery. After that, remote desktop. So as an administrator, one of the important job is we need to make sure the company data is never lost. So to prevent the data loss, what we have to do? What we have to do? We have to take the backup. We have to take the backup. So how we can take the backup? So in Windows, they introduced from 2012 Windows Server Backup. Using that, we can take the backup of a selected data or full data. So backup means copying the data from one location to another. It can be same machine or other machine. Why we are doing that? To prevent the data loss. So who can take the backup? Only administrator can take the backup. So we don't have much theory, this much only. See, after that, the practical. So if you have taken the backup and if your data is lost or got corrupted, you can able to restore it. So for that, Windows backup, Windows backup is there. Okay, so let us now continue with the practical. So now let me go to the DC machine and do the practical. Okay, fine. Just a minute, I'm getting a call, 1 minute. So now, okay, we'll do now the practical. So you can see the steps in our file, Windows Server Backup. So for that, what we have to do? What we have to do for this? In DC machine, open the server manager console, click on add roles and features, click on next to 4 times, not 3 times, 4 times. Check the box Windows Server Backup. Now go to the E drive, create some data. Now take the backup of that. So open the Windows Server Backup service from tools, then select the local backup. Right side you can find backup ones, select custom, which drive, which backup you want, you select that, and where you want to take the backup, take it. Then to do the restoring, first remove the data and restore it. How to restore it? Just again open the Windows Server Backup. The option is there, recover. From that you can restore it. Okay, same data will come back. Okay, let me show you now, same thing. So I'll first go to the DC machine. Then here, let us create some data in the E drive. So already I have one folder with the name FTP data or data folder with some files. So this backup, I'll take it. So already some data is there. You can take existing data backup also. So now open the server manager console. Now here, click on add roles and features. Then click on next 4 times. 1, 2, 3. Because after 3, you see here, Windows Server Backup service is not there. So you need to click one more time next. Now here, if you come down bottom, you will find Windows Server Backup. Can you see here? Windows Server Backup service? Yes. Check the box. Install. Next, install. So Windows Server Backup service got installed. Now the service got installed. Now we'll take the backup. How to take the backup? Go to the tools. If you come down at the bottom, you will find Windows Server Backup. Can you see here? Windows Server Backup. Now, did you find anywhere uh, the things from where you can take the backup? Can you able to see anywhere the option to take the backup? No. So for that, what you do, click on the local backup. Now it will load. And at the right side, you can see the option. Did you able to see the option now? Yes. So to take the backup, there are two options: schedule backup, backup once. So the everything is same. Here, schedule backup means when you want to take. Backup once means now you can take the backup. So I'm taking backup once. So if you take the schedule backup, this option will highlight. For a backup once, this. After that, all the windows are same. Next. Now you want to take the full backup. First option, how much data is there? 16.26, which will take a lot of time. So if you want to take a particular data backup, go to the custom, then say next, add the item, which backup you want. So my data is there in E drive. Which data? Data folder. Select this, and say OK. My backup will be taken. Advanced E drive. Now next option is not highlighting. 1 second. Let me close it. So let us create one folder. with the name data. In that, let me create some file. And write some data. Save it. Now let us take the backup of this folder, data folder. Again, open the Windows Server backup. So click on backup once, then next, custom, which backup I want to take, add the items in the E drive, expand the E drive. So it has selected all. So just I can expand the E drive. So which backup I want to take? This, select this. Yes, got it. You should get this box checked. Now you will get the next option. So now it is asking where you want to take the backup. So you can select any drive. I have selected C drive, backup destination, where you want to take the backup. Now click on backup. So now the backup will be taken in the C drive of the data folder, which is there in the E drive. Okay, backup is taken. Now let us assume that our original data is lost. So to show you the restoring, what I'm doing, I'm removing it. So this is the data folder which backup we have taken. So I delete it. So is there any data folder is there in the E drive? No. Our original data is lost. So what is the advantage of taking the backup? We can able to restore it. So you go back to your Windows Server backup. Now you also have the option of restoring. So here restoring is done with the help of the recover. So what is the option here? Recover. So click on recover. So you want to recover in this server? Yes. Next, next, next. Whose data backup you want to restore? Yes. E drive, the data folder. Yes. Next. Where you want to restore, original location or other? I want original location. So it will go to the E drive. Recover. Now again you can find the E drive. In the E drive data folder with the file. So if you want the verification, you go to the E drive and check did you got it back or not. Yes, same data, same file, same content. Yes. So this is the advantage of taking the backup and restoring. Okay. Now we will do one more small topic. Remote desktop. Now we'll see how to take the remote desktop. Suppose you are one of the specialists in the company looking after the DC. You have branches. So some in one branch there is some problem with the DC. If you go physically, it will take time. So what you can do, you can resolve that issue by taking the remote desktop. So by default in Windows, for security reasons, the remote desktop is disabled. So you want to take the remote backup of the server. So by default in Windows, the remote desktop is disabled. So we need to enable it. How to enable? I'll show you. After that, you can take the remote desktop. So this is called RDS. So what it is called here? Remote desktop service. So now we are discussing what? RDS, which is called remote desktop service. Remote desktop service. So in we want to take the DC machine. So enable the enable the desktop in DC machine. So open the DC machine server manager console, go to the local server below the dashboard, click on the remote desktop, then uh, enable it. To enable it, click on the tab remote, allow the connection. So you make sure that the firewall is off in DC machine member server. When the firewall is on, it will not take the remote desktop. Then you go to the member server, log in as administrator. In the search, you write remote desktop. Give the IP address of the DC machine. Click on connect. As the administrator, you can take the remote desktop. Okay. So now I'll show you this. Now I came back to the DC. So can you find here local server? You go to the local server. Now can you find here the first, the firewall is on. So first you go to the firewall, then turn Windows firewall on or off. So you under the domain network setting firewall, turn off the Windows firewall. Under private network setting, turn off the firewall. Under the public network setting, turn off the firewall. All the three firewalls you should turn off: public, private, and domain. Then after that you close this Windows. Now go to the, now here just if you refresh it will show the firewall is off. Now just if you refresh it will update. The firewall should be off, remember. Now how to enable the remote desktop? So can you see the option remote desktop? It is disabled, means you cannot take the remote desktop. So you have to enable it. So click on this, and to enable it, you have to select here allow the remote connection. By default, for security reason they kept it don't allow. So select here allow the user. So you can give different users also or administrator. If you are not mentioning any username, default it takes the administrator. Apply. Okay. Now I can take the remote desktop. So generally it will be not given to all user, administrator, or any specific user is required. From there you can give it. Now come to the member server. From the member server, I'll take the desktop of the DC machine. So now here also the firewall should be off. In member server also, you go to the local server, Windows firewall. Otherwise, you will not able to access. The firewall should be off in domain network setting, private network setting, and public networks. In both a DC and member server, the firewall should be off. Then only you can take the remote desktop. Now you take the remote desktop. How to take it? Just press Windows key. In the search, you write remote. You will get the option remote desktop. Can you see here remote desktop connection? Click on this. Here you have to write the DC IP address. DC you want to take it. So DC IP is 10.1 in our case. Connect. It will ask the username and password. So you need the authentication from the domain administrator. So administrator@zoom.com and the password. Now it will ask, do you want to take the remote desktop? You say yes. So remote desktop will be taken. See here it is asking, do you want to take the remote desktop? Yes. No, you will be now from system 2, you'll be taking the remote desktop of the system 1. Here it will log out now. See here. Once it's connect, it will log out there. Now see here, the logout it will happen once it takes the remote desktop. Now you have taken the remote desktop. Now you came to the DC machine. See here. Here it is logout. Now you are in the DC machine. Now you are sitting as if on the DC machine. You can able to resolve anything. So remote desktop, this is how you can take it. And if you want to close the connection, you can just write Alt Control F2. Sorry, F4. Sign out. Alt F4. Sign out. Now you came back to your member server. Okay. So this is how you can take your remote desktop. So today we have discussed this is over and I have taken the remote desktop also. Now all the topics are over. So tomorrow is Saturday. So I'll complete this. Monday onwards, we will start the Active Directory classes. And Monday onwards, the last week is start. So simultaneously, we'll take the Linux also. Linux also Monday onwards. So this 1 hour, that 1 hour for 3 days. This will be over. Active Directory, second, third, fourth. 4 days we have to take. Simultaneously Linux also. So Saturday we'll complete this. With this, everything will be over. Then Monday onwards, we'll start the Active Directory remaining classes in sequence order along with the Linux. Okay, so that brings to the end of our today's session. So that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. So if you have any questions, any doubt, you can ask. Tomorrow class will be there. No, tomorrow is Saturday. Class will be there. Even on Monday, Diwali also there will be class because we are at the 4 o'clock. No, so I think we will have a session because from 31st, the Sunday will be 30th. So next batch hour will be 31st. So on Deepavali also we'll have a class. Our puja will be there on the after 6, no? So we can have a session. So Monday I'll start this Active Directory classes with Linux. Okay. So can I close the session or any doubt anyone? You mean that our system name you are saying that sys1 name what we have given that name you want to change? Or you can change. So suppose this is my machine. So how we can change the system name? Right click, PC, properties. Change setting, change. See here, are you getting the option? No? But it will have the effect here, warning you here. The changes might affect the access to the network resources. So those people who are accessing the DC by this name, again, you need to inform him. You can change, but it has to be informed. Okay. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. Can I close the session? Okay, I'm closing the session. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.